It's 6:15 on a Saturday morning. The sun hasn't fully come up yet, but the parking lot is already filling with pickup trucks and cargo vans. One truck backs into a space and the tailgate drops open. Inside are boxes filled with old baseball cards. A few rows over, another vendor unfolds a table and carefully lays out vintage tools that look like they came straight from a 1940s workshop. Someone else unloads crates of vinyl records. Within an hour, this empty parking lot will transform into something that feels like a cross between a flea market, a garage sale, and a treasure hunt. Welcome to an American swap meet. For millions of Americans, swap meets are more than just places to buy used stuff. They're weekend rituals, small business marketplaces, and for some people, they're full-time jobs. If you've never been to one, a swap meet can feel overwhelming at first. Rows and rows of tables stretch across the lot. Hundreds of vendors selling everything from antique furniture to old power tools to stacks of comic books. There's no single theme, no organized layout, just a maze of objects that somehow ended up here. But if you walk slowly through the aisles, you start to notice something interesting. Every table has a story. The man selling old license plates collected them while traveling across the country for 40 years. The woman selling vintage jackets used to run a clothing store in the 1980s. A retired mechanic is selling spare parts from a lifetime of working on classic cars. Swap meets are full of people like this. People who spent decades collecting things, fixing things, saving things, and eventually deciding it's time to pass those objects on to someone else. That's one reason swap meets feel different from normal retail stores. Almost everything here once belonged to someone else. A toolbox that sat in a garage for 20 years. A set of dishes that used to be part of a family kitchen. A guitar that someone once played every weekend. These objects carry pieces of everyday American life. And sometimes those pieces turn out to be surprisingly valuable. Swap meet regulars love telling stories about unbelievable discoveries. A rare baseball card buried in a box of junk. A vintage watch worth thousands sitting on a $5 table. A classic car part someone had been searching for 10 years. These moments are rare, but they happen often enough to keep people coming back. Or because every swap meet carries the same possibility. What if today is the day you find something incredible? Some shoppers arrive with very specific goals. Car collectors searching for rare engine parts. Toy collectors hunting for missing pieces from old sets. Vintage clothing dealers scanning racks for rare labels. Others arrive with no plan at all. They just wander through the aisles and see what catches their eye. And that's part of the charm. You never know what you'll find. One table might have antique cameras. The next might be selling handmade knives. The next might have a box full of random electronics from the 1990s. And somewhere between all of it, someone might discover something valuable. But swap meets aren't just about buying things. They're also about negotiating. At most swap meets, prices are rarely final. If something is marked $20, the buyer might offer $15. The seller might counter with $18. Sometimes they meet in the middle. Sometimes the deal falls apart entirely. For many Americans, this back and forth negotiation is half the fun. It's something you rarely see in modern retail stores. But at swap meets, bargaining is expected. In fact, some vendors enjoy the negotiation almost as much as the sale. Over the years, swap meets have also become an important part of American small business culture. Some vendors make their living this way. They spend the week searching estate sales, storage auctions, and garage sales for items they can resell. Then on weekends, they set up at swap meets and sell those finds directly to customers. Some specialize in vintage tools. though others sell restored furniture. Some deal almost entirely in collectible items. For these sellers, swap meets provide something online marketplaces can't fully replace: face-to-face interaction. Buyers can examine the item, ask questions, and walk away with it immediately. That human connection keeps the tradition alive, because even in an age dominated by online shopping, swap meets still feel personal. You're not scrolling through a website, you're walking through a living marketplace, talking to strangers, listening to stories, and discovering objects you didn't even know existed. Some of the biggest swap meets in the United States attract tens of thousands of visitors every weekend. Entire fairgrounds fill with vendors. Food trucks line the edges of the market. Families wander through the aisles. Collectors search carefully through piles of items. And somewhere in the crowd, someone will walk away with the best deal of the day. That unpredictability is what keeps swap meet culture alive. Because no matter how many times you go, the experience is never exactly the same. New vendors arrive, new items appear, new stories unfold, and hidden somewhere among thousands of ordinary objects, there might be something extraordinary waiting to be discovered. Here on Truly American, we explore the strange and fascinating subcultures that shape life across the United States. From storm chasers in Tornado Alley to treasure hunters in thrift stores and swap meets, there's always another hidden world waiting to be explored.